All right, this is Jared Scriven again with Dungeons and Javas, helping you stay up to level up. I'm here with my friend Andy again, and he's here to talk to us a little bit about the difference between a CCG card game and an LCG card game.
Okay, so let's talk about CCG versus LCG. This is I don't want to say contentious subject, but
Right.
people have their favorites. I was a longtime Magic player. I played it back in the day. I still play it a little bit because of the people I hang out with still play Magic. And it's a great game. I don't want to knock Magic. It's been around forever. It got a lot of people into the hobby. But for those of us who just got tired of spending endless amounts of money chasing cards, there are some innovations in the industry which have come about in the last 10 years or so. Primarily from Fantasy Flight games. So Fantasy Flight, if you're not really familiar with them, check them out. They have got tons of products and IPs. But they kind of pioneered the idea of the living card game, the LCG. And so what that is it just takes the idea of people who love card games and deck building. They take the blind purchase out of the equation. There's some really great things about it. There's some things that are a little challenging about it. But I really like them because I like card games. I love building decks.
Right.
I love playing competitively. I like playing casually. And they've got some great titles. And Game of Thrones, which is on one of the videos that we did, is the one I play the most. But they have Legends of the Five Rings. So those of you who were CCG players of Legends of the Five Rings, they reskinned it as a living card game and re-released it and cleaned that game up. It's great. But essentially what we're talking about is the lack of blind purchase. So I just know Magic players, myself included back in the day, but I know people still do it. They'll spend $500 on a box of booster packs. They're looking for that rare card. And that if that's you, fantastic.
Right.
If it's not, check this stuff out because it's really cool. They basically, let's say Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones has the core box, and all the games will have a core box where you'll have a little bit of each of the type of factions, little ways to kind of build some decks and try the game out. So if you're interested in one, it's about $40 and it's really pretty reasonable, and they're totally playable out of the box. Now, if you want to delve into it further, then you can get into the game a little more. So instead of the blind box booster pack idea, they release what's called a cycle of 6 packs of cards over once a month for 6 months.
Okay.
That's a cycle. All right. Each of those, a lot of them will have a theme to them, but each of those packs will have the next 60 cards of the cycle, 3 copies of each card, and it's a fixed group of cards. So once you go online or QR code it, or you just figure out, there's ways to find out what's in the deck, what's in that box of cards, you can preview it and decide if you want to buy it. Okay. And if you do buy it, now you've got the 3 copies you need, and now you've expanded your card pool. In addition, most of the time after the cycle is over, they will release a larger box set, like a $30 box, which has another influx of cards. And so you are still collecting cards. You're just collecting with the knowledge of knowing what you're getting.
Right.
And that's really nice. And it's, if you get in on the ground floor of an LCG, it's super easy to keep up with.
Yeah.
Now, Game of Thrones and Legend of the Five Rings are competitive games, but they also have a great series of living card games that are cooperative. Lord of the Rings, Arkham Horror, the card game, which is amazing. Maybe the best game I've purchased in the last 10 years. I just love it. But that's a great, cooperative games are just great in general. But again, same model, fixed group of cards, and you can just collect and collect and collect and not have to worry about finding that one card that you want or going online and having to spend $50 on a single card. But a cooperative game introduces you to kind of the world of these games and how they function mechanically. And so once you kind of learn what it means to, let's say tap or tap and untap cards, or ready and exhaust cards, or whatever terminology, Game of Thrones, stand and kneel, right? It's essentially the same idea. you're just not, it's not as foreign to you and you're not as intimidated by it. So a lot of the LCG cooperative ones are a great way to start. But they have really good IP. So Game of Thrones, Legend of the Five Rings is really good. They have a lot of Star Wars stuff. Well, they used to have a Star Wars LCG, and then that got replaced by a competitive game that they produced. But it was still fun. I really enjoyed it. So there's LCG. There's expandable ECGs, expandable card games, which are like LCGs, but they just kind of release big boxes every once in a while. Doomtown was one that was like that. There's other types of games out there that just expand. You don't have to just collect.
At some point, we'll have Andy on here again to do kind of an overview of Arkham Horror, that card game.
Yes, amazing.
Yeah, great game. So again, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get updates. Also follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. Once again, this is Jared and my friend Andy with Dungeons and Javas, helping you stay up to level up. Have a great day.
See ya.